Hey, it's Men's Health Month. Men, are you struggling to get healthy? Got any questions on what lifestyle works best for you? Or you simply need guidance on how to get started? Well, guess what? You're in the right place. Join me and my health and fitness professionals as we dive into subjects such as physical fitness, health and nutrition, and even medical checkups. Men, let's get you right and celebrate men's health. What's up, everybody? This is Men's Health Month live once again on this Good Tuesday. First of all, we're so glad that you're able to come and join us again. Listen, we made it to the end of June. Can't believe it's flown by so fast, but we've been having some great time this month, every week, just learning about all things concerning men's health. And this is brought to you by Fitness D.E.F.Y'd. Shout out to JQ. I am your men's ambassador for this month. For our Men's Health Month, Davian Talley. And listen, tonight, this is our last live. We still have one more day of June. That's tomorrow. But today, for our last live, we're going to have a really great time with some great fellas. We have Rob Malloy and also Jordan Chill City Moore. And we're going to be diving into some great topics tonight over overcoming health issues, self-care and medical checkups, and the importance of support and community. So listen, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get into Rob's video, go ahead and make sure you share this with somebody and tell them about this Men's Health Month and this live we're about to do. But let's go ahead and get into Rob's video.
Hey guys, Rob Malloy checking in here real quick. Father, veteran entrepreneur. Just wanted to share my story real quick. When I was in high school, guys, I played sports, basketball, football, like a lot of us have, right? When I got older, life happens, right? You don't exercise as much sometimes. Your eating habits aren't as good as they used to be, and things happen. So for me, I gained weight, I got unhealthy, and I had to make a change, and I wasn't sure how to do that. And that was my biggest challenge because, you know, when you get older and you eat whatever you want to eat, right? And then later on in the afternoon, you're hungry again. You didn't gain a pound, your abs are still there. Well, time has a way of letting you know you have to do a little bit more. So even after the age of 40, I needed to figure out what type of things can I do to have a better and healthier lifestyle. And so for me, I had to be creative. You know, I had to be creative, had to do things like walk. You see how beautiful of a day it is right now? I took advantage of that, and I needed to do things like walk. I needed to do things that were realistic for me, even though I wasn't in the best health. So I want to also scale back just a little bit. When I started the unhealthy habits, it affected me in a lot of different ways. My blood pressure, high cholesterol, even diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. That's how bad it was. And again, life happens, right? So it's all about how you respond to the things that happen in your life. So for me, again, I had to figure it out, right? I could moan, I can complain, I could blame it on everyone but myself. I could even blame myself, but that wasn't getting the results that I needed. right? That wasn't being a good example for my family. That wasn't showing my kids that not only do I accept challenges, but I can overcome them as well. And that's what I had to do. It first started with a mindset. So I had to change the mindset and say, you know what? I can do this, right? I can do this. I also had to say that, hey, I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay committed. And also, what was great is I asked for help. I asked for support. And as men, we get prideful, but you know what? I know that it was bigger than me to make this thing happen. I also had to find a way to get over it. I had to find a way to get over my ego, because living was most important for me, right? And so, guys, fast forward, I was able to gradually drop the weight with some simple exercises, but the consistency and the commitment and the support is what got me there. So I dropped about 50 pounds in about 4 months through diet and exercise, consistent diet and exercise. Meditation was so important. Self-care was even important. Those were things I had to reward myself for the accomplishments day by day, week by week, month by month. And I've been able to keep it off, guys, for years and years and years now. Not only that, but to help other people from all different walks of life, from different backgrounds, to do the same things and meet whatever their personal goals are. Guys, look, I'm a veteran. Keeping veterans fit is what I live by, right? And I'm a veteran, so keeping veterans fit starts with me. And so I'm so happy to have the opportunity to share my story. I hope that it would encourage and inspire and even motivate you guys. Happy Men's Month. It's June, right? Men's Month is June. Now, my birthday's in October, so I'm not sure how they came up with Men's Month in June, but hey, we're going to celebrate it nevertheless. God bless you guys. Be well, and you can do this. Take care.
There we go. Y'all have heard from Rob. Such an amazing story. Let's go ahead and bring Rob in and dive into some more talk. Rob, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm loving that video. Just hearing your story, the inspiration, your journey, your process, all of that stuff, man. And it's really inspiring to hear that. And I'm ready to dive into some more talk with you, man. There's a lot to learn.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, man. Listen, so many points. I've not even just what you just said in your video, but just your bio, man. You do so much. I don't think you even had a chance to even tell everything else that you do with helping. After you had your process and you learned from that, you now like help other people with disabilities and people who are actually like hindered from not just something that's like short term, something that can be you can get healing from, but like somebody who is like going to deal with this for the rest of their life, but how to overcome that obstacle and still manage, so talk a little bit about that, like what else you do as well. And then we got some other things we want to talk to you about.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
And we celebrate men's health. Men's Month is cool, but we're celebrating men's health. So I want to be very clear and intentional with that before we go any further. And I also want to thank you guys for having me. Yes, my name is Robert Malloy. I am an Air Force veteran. I'm a proud father, entrepreneur and businessman. And I say all those things because without health, there's no life. And without life, there's no purpose. And when you have purpose, you use your gifts. So I wouldn't be able to do any of those things if I didn't take my health seriously. As far as when it comes to helping people, it's kind of one of those things to where if you're in an airplane, and I hate to use that analogy, but if there's an emergency, they tell you once those oxygen masks come down that you put yours on first and then you help others, right? And so I kind of took a look at it that way. I couldn't be an assistant with anyone if I didn't take myself in consideration and making sure that I have myself together. So, fighting different ailments, it was such a challenge that once I was in a position, I was like, man, you know what? If I can do it, because I know that there's other people that have other things going on more serious than me, especially being a veteran with disabled veterans out here, homeless veterans out here, and not only the veterans, but the family members of the veterans, which is just as important because that's their support system. And so just kind of learning all these things, man, it put me in a certain place to where I was like, look, if I'm going to talk about it, I have to be about it. So making sure that I'm a walking billboard from a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint, and actually showing myself approved so that I can help others, that was a really, really big deal for me. So, working with other veterans and family members and even friends and family members of my own. Everything starts at home, and that's why I took charge with everything.
Man, and that's awesome. And first of all, thank you for your service to the country and everything you've done
Indeed.
For us and for this country, man. It's really awesome. And then the fact that you're still giving back in that sense, that's just amazing in itself. Listen, you touched on a lot of good points, a lot of things that we basically covered this month, but we're diving more into it tonight. But basically, the whole part of self-care. We talked to the other guys that have been on our live that, talked about their health issues and their struggles they had. A guy mentioned he didn't even know he was sick until he went to the doctor, and he didn't know the severity of it until he got there. But, you were, diagnosed, did you say diabetes? And what was the other ones you said?
Yeah, type 2 diabetes, which, of course, that one is from unhealthy habits. I wasn't born with diabetes, but type 2 diabetes is from unhealthy habits, and high cholesterol, high blood pressure, a whole bunch of things going on, man, that I had no business having to deal with if I took better care of myself. But, of course, most important is, it's about how you deal with life when life happens.
And you know what, man, I think a problem with us men, and we don't really talk about this, is not the fact that we're unaware of health and the importance of that. I think, like you touched on, pride is an issue in that, and we need to be taking care of that because that can get in the way with a whole lot of things. But even as men, most men are like, well, I'll be all right. It's okay for me to drink 6 packs of beers every day and eat all these Debbie cakes and pizzas and all that stuff. And because we think at the end of the day, we're going to be fine. Nothing going to happen to us. We men, we roll with the punches and we keep it going. Yeah. But not knowing that these things, like you said, Tom has a way of revealing itself with you. Those things are going to hit you like a roadblock, and it's going to stop you slap dead in the middle. And you have no choice. Either, you have a choice either to deal with that, deal with it the right way, or you deal with it the worst way. Keep that same pride and keep going. But tell us, how you decided to take that stance and say, you know what, let me just decide first of all, let me step back because this is serious. This is life. Like you said, if there's no life, there is no purpose. If you didn't if you didn't get in that mindset change, like you mentioned, you wouldn't probably be here today to even do all of the things that you're doing now. And, who knows that time frame you would have had to even do that, so tell us about that decision to put your pride aside and really say, you know what, I have to think about my purpose.
Yeah, for sure. You made all accurate and great points. I'm 45 years young, and, a lot of my health issues came after 35. So being in the military, being an athlete in high school, in the military, you think that you're going to be healthy forever. You feel like you're always going to have abs, even if you eat bad. When you wake up in the morning, the washboard is right there, man. And I remember being there, playing ball, being able to play basketball every weekend for hours, even throughout the week. And, you never think that you wouldn't be in position to do those things. So we do get caught up and we do take for granted actual taking care of our bodies versus our bodies just being the machines that they are. And so you learn that, your body is a machine, but as you get older, that body needs maintenance. That body needs to be on a weekly, on a monthly, on an annually. You need those checkups and tune-ups and things like that. So for me, once I got a little bit older and I noticed that I wasn't able to do the things that I could do before. And what I mean by that is, not running and my speed and jump shots and things like that, just more quality of life, being able to walk, having energy. I mean, I have 2 grandkids, a family, nieces and nephews, and being able to just do things that I felt like I should be able to do because I'm not extremely old. I'm not extremely unhealthy, in my mind, but it's things that you pick up that are like, man, I have no business being out of breath going up and down the stairs. And so it was one of those things for me to where I needed a better quality of life before it got extreme. Because having type 2 diabetes is not something that just goes away. It's something that, you can, as they say, reverse it through diet and exercise. But at the same time, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do anymore that are things that you shouldn't want to do anymore. That can creep back, and that can be, excessive fast food and I don't drink alcohol or smoke. So I had that for me. But I tell you what, my diet was so bad, it was doing some serious damage as well. And so those things kicked in, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do next. Once you start gaining weight and your metabolism does slow down, because it will slow down, but what that means is you have to do some other things to counteract that, and which we should pick up healthier habits, and that was something that I decided to do, man. I didn't want to live an unfulfilled life, and let alone be around people and be unfulfilled, because that energy transfers.
That's right, man. And I mean, that's a whole nother topic. We can dive in right there, man. Even we're talking about having the right support and community, but if you don't know what the community you need to be around, you can have a false sense of, hey, well, this is my homeboys and my people, and that's fine. They still be your people, but they might not be that community and support you go to help you with this transition to, the right healthy lifestyle, because they still doing the same things you need to get rid of, So and we talk about on this topic. So, you're telling us about the different health issues that you had and how you overcame them, but you talked about, you asked for help. I mean, we talked about pride with men, we talked about that, but then we don't like to ask for help because we like to be in control. We like to think that we know what we're doing all the time. We like to, to some men, it's a sign of, hey, well, that's weakness. If you got to ask for help or do whatever. But you say, you know what, I'm messing up clearly. If it's coming to this point, I'm doing something wrong. So I need to ask for help. What was help? What was that help like for you? Like, what did that look like? Was that you, going to the doctor doing checkups, or was that you doing research or finding these key people to help you with this journey?
Yeah. The thing about that is we talk about ego, we talk about pride and things like that. And realistically, for some of us, we're hard-headed. And so it'll take a life-changing experience, occurrence, mishap, whatever you want to call it, to make a difference. And even after that, you still may need to go through a process to where, you got to take this thing serious, because, you're starting to think you have 9 lives. You start to think that you're a feline, right? And so, for me, my family picked up on some things, especially if you're active, you look a certain way in your clothes, just the type of things that you're doing. The family members, my activities slow down. Like, hey, you don't go to the gym, your stomach poking out, your face look droopy, your face look fat. The people around me were pretty straight up. And I would say that some of the biggest impact for me would be my children and my parents. And my parents they're both almost 80 years old. So they have lived an amazing long life, and they're my examples, and they don't have major health issues in their 70s. So here I am in my 30s, in my 40s, dealing with some things that are 100% my fault. 100% my fault. And again, the accountability was major. I didn't like it. I didn't like people telling me that, hey, you're picking up weight, your stomach poking out, you don't look right in your clothes and things like that. And, that actually motivated me after I got over it. Gave myself 24 to 48 hours. And then, hey, I'm a walking billboard of myself, right? So if I want to build a legacy, if I want to build an empire, if I want my last name to mean something, then I have to be that example. And so for me, that's what it was, man. And it didn't stop there. It continues.
Man, that's awesome. Listen, Rob, we don't want you to go anywhere, but we're about to take a break, then go into a sponsor break. We're going to go to Jordan's video soon. We're about to hear from him, and then we're going to bring you and Jordan back at the same time for question and answer. So, y'all, we're going to go to our sponsor video right now.
All right, peace everybody. This is Chill City. Don't forget the pound sign, or Jordan Chill City more. Don't forget the pound sign. So I'm in several different fields that make it very beneficial in a sense to not just be in shape, but be as close to 100% consistently as much as I can. So in a sense, that's really one of the reasons why I started working out as much as I have. And I'm gonna be real, like, I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons why I started working out was, I wanted to have a nice body. And that's just being honest. But apart from that, it's very beneficial in the fields that I'm in, to actually, not so much in a sense sculpt my body, but in a sense of just being 100% or at my best. Which it can be subjective, but so just like everybody's story, you may have started and then you quit, and then you start again, and then you quit, and then you start again. So that was pretty much mine until I met JQ. And I can honestly say she got me excited about working out. Just because of her energy. And if you guys know JQ, then you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. But when I first came to her, because I was, very heavy in music, still am very heavy in music, she offered a workout plan for me. And, I actually kind of fell in love to a certain extent. I fell in love with that workout. And I started seeing results. And honestly, once I started seeing results, I got hooked. In a sense. Now, I'm not looking to be, cock diesel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do figure skating, so I do want to keep my body and my weight at a certain number, or within a certain range, just for balance purposes. But, I do want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, I guess just be in the best shape. Like, I want to be in the best shape. And it's going back to, hey man, I want to have a nice body. I want to, hey, like, come on. I don't think nobody can blame nobody for that. But, that's really, and I'm fairly new. So, of course I'm learning a lot just as I go, just from meeting people in the gym or doing my own research. And then on top of that, actually being intentional, and eating a lot more healthy. I've cut out a lot of actually eating out, especially at fast food restaurants. I do a lot of cooking at home now. I'm slowly transitioning to vegan, believe it or not. I still mess up and may eat some fish and then chicken every now and again, but it's slowly transitioning into that. But that goes hand in hand with the whole working out, and actually seeing results, because it's not just going to the gym and working out, but it's actually fueling the body and actually eating what the body needs to actually show you those results. That can be a lot more satisfying, or it has been very satisfying to me. So I'm Jordan Chill City Moore. Thank y'all for this opportunity. Peace.
All right, so now we're about to bring Jordan out and talk to him. Jordan, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother David? That video was so high energy.
That's who you are. You're always going to give high energy moments. You already know yourself, man. We need that. We need that, man. It's been already been a long week, and it's just still the beginning of the week. But right. Man, like I just hearing your story, man, and this is what we want everybody to understand before we get into it real quick, because then we're gonna bring Rob back out, and we're all gonna come together for some question and answer. But we're letting all you men know, and if you're on here and you got a husband, a son, whatever the case, and you're connected to a man, we want everybody to know it doesn't matter if what area or what stage they're in, if they're this big bulky guy or the skinny guy, it doesn't matter. It's all about your personal journey, making it your own, finding out what works best for you. You touched on parts of, you start doing figure skating and stuff like that. I know I can't do that. I'll sit there and break every bone in my body if I tried that. But listen, it works for you. You're able to get a workout in. You're able to take care of yourself. Self-care. It's not just about all the time physical activity, but it's also taking care of your mind, your body, your spirit. All of that stuff, it matters. It makes the health. But you talked about being in the best shape of your life, and I read this quote that you put in there about your body has to catch up to where you're trying to go in life with your purpose, your drive, your ambitions, all that stuff. You trying to make it in life. Everybody say, I want to make it. I want to make it. Your body has to catch up to that. You have to keep the body in mind, the temple, everything that you're taking care of. And so, like elaborate more on that quote. Like somebody really need to understand that, because I know that could really make or break somebody, and they could change today by hearing that.
Right. So first off, thank y'all for having me. I'm truly honored.
Yes, thank you, man.
So just a better way to phrase that is saying, wherever you're trying to go in life, or I'll just use myself for example. There's a lot of things that I'm looking to accomplish in life. My body has to keep up with the demand of that. So going back to the video, I do acting, I do modeling, I'm a music artist, I'm a musician, I'm also an entrepreneur, so I own my own business. So there's several fields that I'm in that is pretty demanding. I mean, Davian, I mean, from modeling and acting, that in itself is pretty demanding. Plus, you have your professionalism going on. So being able to be in great enough shape to where I can sustain, I can, get up every morning, and do this, complete this task, and I'm not burnt out within, 6 hours. Now, granted, just like Mr. Malloy said, over time, the body does, wear down to a certain extent. But I think the biggest thing with me is learning from, individuals who are older than me and knowing what they may have done or haven't done when they were younger is preventative maintenance. So I do a lot of preventative maintenance because, I do artistic skating. I have so many, I guess, health gurus in my life when it comes down to my health. So, I have someone that I see regularly for massage therapy, for yoga, for meditation. Like I have mentors in every single one of their field or in every single one of the fields. So that way I can, be in the best shape that I can be over a long extended period of time. So going back to that quote, there's a lot of things that I'm looking to accomplish, not just this year, but in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years, the next 30 years, regardless of however far I want to go, my body has to be able to keep up with the demand of that for that extended period of time. And I think preventative maintenance goes a long way. Meditation goes a long way. I truly believe people underestimate the value of breathing, like proper breathing technique or just a focus and more intentional breathing.
Yeah, and listen, that was on our last live last week. We talked about meditation, and we actually did a live meditation, which it helped me. Ed, let me tell you something. Just because I'm hosting these lives, man, I'm learning so much too as well. And even areas
Right.
that you're saying, you have a specific doctor or mentor, whatever the case may be, for those different categories. Me and JQ had a conversation before everybody about even dental care. Like, that's a part of health. A lot of
Yeah.
people, you see people with 1 to 5 teeth in their mouth, and that's it. All the
Yeah.
teeth that
Yeah.
we're supposed to have, that's not good. Now, we understand things happen, but just taking care of every specific part of your body that people were called to be doctors for. We're not
Right.
taking advantage of their care and their purpose, or utilizing that, because we can't do it all. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, we shouldn't want to do all this stuff. It's a lot to maintain. But you just encourage me again, man, to find these people, and encouraging other people. Hey, get you a chiropractor. Hey, get you a massage therapist, or get you somebody, even a psychiatrist and
Yes.
counselor, taking care of that mental health,
Right.
all of that
Right.
stuff. So all of that is really good, man. This is some good stuff. We're gonna go ahead and jump into our questions and answer. We're gonna bring Rob in as well, so we can all have a conversation. And Rob, feel free to jump in. We're talking about the importance of that self-care, is me and you started mentioning in your video, but just the importance of taking care of yourself, like all parts of your body. There's so much stuff to take care of, but why it's important to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely shout out to you, Jordan. It's good to see the young bulls find the importance of health and wellness, man. That's a big deal, because you're not going to be young forever, but you want to enjoy your seasoned years, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because those are prime years. So we're not sleeping on when you get older, that it's over.
Mhm.
I found life again when I found better health, and it has literally catapulted my career, my personal confidence, my business, and just all around. So when you talk about self care, as dudes, sometimes they think about, now I'm not gonna get a pedicure, I'm not getting a manicure, IBI, all that. Nah, you have to do all those things, because it's important. You can look however you want to look on the outside, but you don't really understand until later on what's happening on the inside. And so, even as someone who has dealt with type 2 diabetes, foot care is paramount. It's paramount. So you have to make sure that your feet are together, and all that. Just talking about your toenails look good and manicured, but making sure that there's no sores, that your skin, that you're not having those type of issues. Extreme ash, more than just look like kicking flour, but actually scaly skin and things like that. So you learn those things, man. You kind of learn those things, and so it puts in perspective. I don't care what anybody thinks, man. I
Yeah.
get a pedicure. I try to get a pedicure twice a month if possible, if I remember, and manicures as well. Facials, massages.
Yeah.
Why not? Take
Yeah.
care of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
That.
that's good, man. So that's the question. What's the most part of health to you? Would you say it's the taking care of the feet, man, or self care? It's going into the self care.
Yeah. I would say, and I'll pass the baton. I would say that mental, the mental aspect of it, making sure that you take time to meditate. If
Yeah.
you're a person of that believes in prayer, meditation and prayer, because that mindset going into your day, starting your day, going into when it's time to go to sleep, to make sure that you have peace when it's time to rest.
Yeah, man. Come
Those
on.
things are so key, and that'll change your attitude, that'll change your activity, and it'll give you your motivation and inspiration that you need.
That's good, man. Jordan, same question for you, man.
Yeah. So just to pretty much kind of piggyback on what Mr. Malloy was saying, even when it comes down to the feet, regardless if that's a health related issue or not. to me, that's classy anyway. So I mean, I do that myself with, you know, getting a pedicure or anything like that. But going back to mental health, I, I believe it's lack of knowledge and lack of education that, if anything, intimidates people not to either, you know, seek further advice when it comes to help or even just do it on their own. So practically, what could something, you know, that could help you mentally, you know, be for you? So something like, let's just say, if you could find a way to wake up, like I wake up 4:30 every morning. If you could find a way to wake up at 5:30 or even 6:30 in the morning and just go outside, you don't have to do nothing extravagant. Sit outside on your porch. Just sit there. And the thing is with meditation, it's not so much that you're trying to stop certain thoughts from coming in or anything like that. It's let them come in. Just don't let them stay. You can think about it, but then let it move on to the next thought. And that way you start to focus more on your breathing. Once you start getting that chance, you start focusing on your breathing, and you'll really start to notice, just like how Mr. Malloy said, a change in your mood and a change in perspective. And that's one of the biggest things, is a change in perspective. So how you going about your day, you'll move differently. You know, once again, like I mentioned when I first came on, I truly believe that people underestimate the value of actually proper breathing. So mentally, I mean, that's practically something that you can do every morning that doesn't cost you nothing. It's free. And then you can either, you know, ask for help, just like how Mr. Malloy said. You don't have to be an expert. That's why you have individuals who are licensed already. That's why you have individuals who already put in the time and got the certificates or went to school. You know, there's a lot of things I didn't know. I asked JQ real quick. Or even when I first, like, she had me on a very high intensity training because I'm into music or acting and being able to, you know, perform at a high level. And she like broke it down to a science, to where not so much I didn't want to read because I still did my own research, but the fact that I didn't have to take that time to, you know, become intimidated or be like, okay, well, I don't know what this means. Like, I actually have someone to ask. So utilize that. People forget that they actually have resources, valuable resources around them.
That's good, man. And listen, like I said, like everybody, real talk, the importance of mental health is very serious. You know, all of this stuff that we've been talking about, not just tonight, but the ones before, you won't even be able to comprehend or have that determination or confidence to move into walking in the, you know, the right part of life with your health and everything. If your mindset is off, you're going to still be having that same mindset. You'll wake up with the same mindset. You'll go to sleep with it. Like Rob was saying, take care of yourself, reset your mind. You know, even if you aren't into praying and stuff like that, at least just you got to talk some stuff out, whatever you got to do, but take care of your mental space so that you can be effective and do a lot of these things that we're telling you to do. I want to ask this question right here. So how has, like, the support, since we were talking about the importance of support and community and help, how has being around that, you know, your community and your support system, like, how has that helped you with your influencing on your healthcare practices, your community?
You want to go first, Mr. Rod?
You go ahead, rock out.
Okay. So my, you know, and as cliche as this may sound or may not sound, um, I get a lot of support. Like, me and my mom, we have this accountability with each other. Like, my mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune disease. So there's a lot of things that she does on the preventative side, you know, just like walking every day. She knows I'm in, once again, several different fields. So if she sees that, you know, I may be slacking on going to the gym or, you know, anything like that, like, she'll call me on it. And it's not nothing to be, you know, demeaning or anything like that, but it's that accountability. So for me to actually have that support does a lot for me, um, just for encouragement purposes. Now, once again, certain artists that I'm around, I know that they work out, or I know, and it's not always just wrapped around working out, but I know they do some type of health related exercise, whether they're an artist or they're a model. And because I'm in those fields, like, it automatically puts me in that realm of individuals who are performing at their best. And, you know, at the same time, you know, every field is some form of competition, whether it's healthy, and being able to maintain at that level. So I'm always around that support. And I think that's very vital for anybody to have that type of support, you know, regardless of what type of field you're in.
That's good, man. Rob,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have some type of motivation, some type of goals, right? And then you find like-minded people, or like-minded people find you. You attract that. So for me, it was important to have a better quality of life. You know, it doesn't matter how much money you have if you're sick and you can't spend it, right? And so finding like-minded people, attracting like-minded people. When I took things serious, it wasn't hard to find support, you know, because you attract it. And so a lot of support for me was actually social media. Social media. I remember once upon a time I had, you know, 300-400 friends on social media. I didn't really know too much about, you know, the different platforms and stuff like that. But what I did do was I posted my journey, and that was so important because you know how many out of shape older guys that you know feel like I have no business being out of shape, and there has to be other people like me. Millions, women too, you know, and so the support wasn't hard to find once I took things serious. When you don't take things serious and you know you don't have that gut check, then you're gonna feel like you're alone. You know, you're gonna feel like you know it's all your fault. Nobody supports you or anything like that. But when you take it serious, because you have to get tired of being sick and tired. You know, as cliche as that is, it gets no realer. And so once you get to that point, the support will find you. And sometimes it's not going to be your family members. You know, your mom and dad, prayerfully, you know, they love their baby, so they're going to, you know, show some support. But it may not be the people that you think it'll be. And since we on the show and I'm me, you know, sometimes you're going to look for support in certain places. It's not going to be there. And so what you have to do is you have to continue to stay focused and remember the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is to get yourself together, right? So you have to have a reason to do it outside of you. So my motivation was my kids. You know, my motivation was my family. And, you know, just to set that example, especially getting older, because I'm like, man, in my 40s, I'm supposed to be in my prime. You know, you know what I mean? And so, you know, a lot of that stuff helped me to appreciate where I am now, and to where now it makes sense, because now I'm like, listen, if I get back to almost 300 pounds or something like that, that means somebody is injecting me with something. You understand? Something is going absolutely wrong, because every day my motivation is to be better. And with that motivation, it inspires others. And you know, it's synergy at that point. It's synergy. So a lot of people coming together with common goals, we can accomplish a huge and bigger movement than we would even believe we could.
Man, that's good. And I wanted to say this real quick, just to add to what both of y'all were saying, like to help somebody understand like the importance of having the right community with you with what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You can still have your friends, your people, as long as they're benefiting to your life. But as far as your journey with the things that you're doing, you can't be aligned with people who already have the mindset that they don't want to be serious about this. That's fine. Everybody has a decision to make in life, but you have to be connected to the right one. It's kind of like a puzzle piece. When you got all these puzzle pieces and you trying to fit that puzzle piece into that spot, and that's not it, it's not working, and you got to find the right one is just to fit. That's the same. That's how accountability is, having that right person. So that way you can continue. So that way, when you do slip, because we are human, we have days where we don't want to work out. We have days when we want to eat right. We have days where we just want to eat whatever. Cool. But after you have that slip up, somebody to say, you know what? Like Jordan said, hey, you've been off. What you doing? You know, belly getting a little big. You need to get back in it. So having that is very helpful. Is healthy for you. And I'm just want to, you know, tell everybody, please make sure you surround yourself with the right people. So that way, when you're taking yourself serious, you have to have people who are going to believe in you and help you get to where you need to be. And I want to ask this last question. So what are, like, besides the working out, the eating right, what are other things that you do, you know, that you make sure you include in your daily routine, with besides, you know, the working out and making sure you have a well-balanced diet, what else does that look like for that your healthy lifestyle for the daily?
I'll jump in. So one thing that I learned, in order to be successful in anything, you have to be very intentional. And for me, it was actually put a calendar and a schedule together, so that everything that I do, I'm very intentional with it. I have daily goals, I have weekly goals, I have monthly goals, and obviously it goes on. And so setting realistic goals are something for me, like you said, outside of exercise and things like that. I want to make sure that I have a balanced day. You know, my work hours, I'm an entrepreneur. And, so I set work hours and I set break hours and I set, workout time. And I have to have organization in my life. And what that does for me is it eliminates unnecessary stress and hopefully unnecessary stressors. And that was a major part of just having some type of organization, accomplishing goals, feeling purposeful with those things. And that was, I would say, that was major. Also making sure that I balance my time and making sure that I get some family time in. Like I said, my parents are almost in their 80s, man. And I'm not going to be over here working, talking about, hey, 17, 20 hours a day and not be able to spend time and then look back and say that I wish that I did certain things, So it helps me create a lifestyle that is how I want it to be, and having control of that and creating my own balance. So that has been the major thing for me, is creating my own schedule, following that schedule, and being disciplined. Because the important thing about discipline is discipline goes beyond motivation. Like, we don't feel like doing it. When you look at Jordan over there, he's doing his thing. I may not feel like, I'm not going to be inspired, right? I may go and lay back down, but discipline is doing the things that you said you was going to do long after you feel like doing it.
That's good. Go ahead, Jordan.
Mr. Rob actually hit on some very good points with just time management, being intentional. A major thing for me is I mind my business. No, I'm just playing. But
you're right. That's good.
No, but in a sense, just minding my own business and actually focusing on the things that I do have to do actually goes a long way with me. But apart from that, apart from just working out or make sure I'm eating the best that I can, I stretch. And once again, like, I'm real big on breathing, so I'm stretching at least 30 minutes every morning. Once again, I feel like people underestimate the value of actual proper breathing technique. And then, past that, once again, just like Mr. Rob said, just being intentional with everything that I'm doing. So if I have plans, if I have goals, I have about 3 vision boards here. And they're just about all full. And then I also have notes on my phone to make sure that I'm staying on track with everything. I'm doing time management, which I've learned once again from my mentor. So the thing is, like we mentioned earlier, it's not even looking to be an expert at everything, but actually making or putting myself in the best positions that I can to be successful throughout everything and all that I'm doing.
Nice.
So time management, breathing technique, meditation, eating right, having certain days that I'm going to the gym for a certain hour and then actually still getting my work done. To me, I think those are the lost jewels.
That's good, man. And I mean, because we talk about self-care, and another part of that self-care is like Rob, like you said, taking care of your family and, all of that stuff. But I think this was a perfect way to end it on the night, just discipline and time management, because if you don't have those boundaries, you'll end up having all of your time into other things. So you'll leave working out, like you'll spend all your day working, and then you'll be like, oh, I didn't get to work out. It's 10 o'clock, and you like, well, it's too late. But if you set those timers and do that stuff, you'll make time, you'll make room for the important things that you need to do in that day. Can't do everything in one day, but you definitely need to make sure you have the time management, the discipline, and all that stuff. Yes, minding your business will keep you in alignment and focus on your vision boards, your life. Yes, you said it right, Jordan. Some people need to mind their business. That's why the life goals is off. That's why you can't stay focused on your goals, because you're all over the place in everybody's business. But that was really good, though. Listen, fellas, I could be here all night with you all, learning from you all, listening to y'all's amazing stories. But sad to say that this is the last night, but this was the best night to close it on to, with all the people that we had before. And even to this day, this has been a great way to close out our Men's Health Month Live. Yes, that's Don't Believe the Lie book. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Check Jordan Chill City more. Don't forget the £. Rob Malloy, he's doing great things. He can help you with your journey and everything you're doing. We want to shout out to all of our sponsors, Fitness D.E.F.Y'd and also Earth Strong LLC. This has been a great time. Thank you, fellas, so much for y'all's time and y'all's willingness to come share all the things that y'all have been through. This has been great.
Honored to join y'all.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Well, listen, y'all, until next time, make sure y'all continue to share this with somebody. All of the lives that we did are still accessible on the Fitness D.E.F.Y'd page. You can still, you have access to all this great information. I know I'm going to save it and still go back and dive into some great things about meditating and all of that good stuff. But until next time, you all, make sure you really just learn from everything that we said, because this is very serious. This is not just stuff that we just want to talk about just because we're doing it. This is very serious to help you out in your life. And we know that it can make a change in your life. So listen, y'all make sure y'all stay great. Y'all breathe. Y'all do all the things you need to do to take care of yourself. And we're closing out.